Today on Forbes, Trump is now one of America's biggest Bitcoin investors. Looking at Donald Trump's finances, it's easy to miss one of his most important assets, Bitcoin. The cryptocurrency appears nowhere on the financial disclosure the president files with the government. It is not listed among the holdings identified on the Trump Organization's website, and it does not show up in other reports of his assets. But make no mistake, Trump holds a major position in the digital currency, amounting to an estimated $870 million as of the morning of October 10th, enough to make him one of the largest Bitcoin investors on the planet. The reason Trump's investment is so hidden? He holds it indirectly through his stake in the business that operates Truth Social, the Trump Media and Technology Group, which does appear on his balance sheet. Trump Media attracted a multi-billion-dollar valuation trading on the NASDAQ despite generating less than $4 million of annual revenue, then pivoted to crypto earlier this year. In May, it raised $2.3 billion by taking on a pile of debt and selling its overvalued stock. Then, in July, it snatched $2 billion of Bitcoin. The stock sales diluted Trump's stake in the company from 52% to 41%. As of the morning of October 10th, the price of Bitcoin had increased about 6% since Trump Media's big bet. That leaves the president with 41% of an estimated $2.1 billion stockpile, enough to make his personal share roughly $870 million. Note that these figures were calculated just hours before last Friday's brief but dramatic crash in the price of Bitcoin that saw the cryptocurrency slide more than 10% before rebounding slightly. There are only a handful of other billionaires who appear to own more Bitcoin than Trump. The Winklevoss twins could have over $8 billion, if they haven't sold off any in recent years. Michael Saylor, who pioneered the Bitcoin treasury strategy Trump Media is now copying, has about $5 billion through his 7% stake in his company, Strategy, as well as an estimated $2.2 billion on the side. Tim Draper won an auction in 2014 for coins the US government seized when taking down the Silk Road, an illicit marketplace, that are now worth $3.6 billion. Investor Matthew Rozak may hold more than $1 billion. Right behind them, Donald Trump, who wanted little to do with Bitcoin during his first term. In 2019, the president tweeted, quote, "I am not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which are not money and whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air. Unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and other illegal activity." Trump's transformation from crypto skeptic to Bitcoin bull captures his approach to business. An opportunist with a mind for marketing, he started to dabble in crypto during his years out of the White House. First, Trump sold non-fungible token trading cards, including ones of himself stylized as a superhero, generating a few $1 million of easy money. Then, as the 2024 election drew closer, he launched a crypto project with his 3 sons named World Liberty Financial. It pretty much went nowhere until Trump won the election. That's when the crypto community, highly vulnerable to government regulation, piled into World Liberty tokens, ultimately adding more than $1 billion to Trump's net worth, according to Forbes estimates. With DC buzzing before the inauguration, the president-elect also launched a memecoin, boosting his fortune by nearly $1 billion more. The dawn of a second Trump presidency lifted asset values across the industry. The price of Bitcoin jumped 60% from Election Day in November to May of this year. Trump Media announced its plan to start stockpiling Bitcoin. It relied on its sky-high trading price to raise money, selling $1 billion of convertible bonds and another $1.4 billion of stock. Trump's share of the debt, equal to about $400 million, now represents the largest loan in his portfolio, bigger than any of his real estate mortgages. The White House is unbothered by the ethical concerns all of this creates. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says, quote, "Neither the president nor his family have ever engaged or ever will ever engage in conflicts of interest." She then immediately undermined herself by pointing to clear conflicts of interest, saying, quote, "Through executive actions, supporting legislation like the Genius Act and other common-sense policies, the administration is fulfilling the president's promise to make the United States the crypto capital of the world." For full coverage, check out Dan Alexander's piece on forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.